Hello all. So today we are talking about green facility management in chapter 10. So getting right into things, green buildings or environmentally conscious construction and management of buildings requires special care. For example, a trend in Europe is to plant grass on rooftops to help insulate buildings. This issue raises the issue of how to maintain the grass. It may be impossible to bring a mower onto a slanted roof, but goats can be put on the roof to eat the grass and keep it short. This type of approach is often referred to as a sustainability. But are there different shades of green? In other words, how far does an organization have to go to be considered green? Some steps are easy, some require a bit more commitment and cash. Simply implementing a recycling program and a few energy efficient upgrades may be huge victories for some organizations. For others, LEED Platinum certification is the only goal that will meet their vision. At the pinnacle of green innovation is what's known as living building, a structure that has a positive overall impact on the earth by actually enriching the habitat, improving the groundwater table, and providing a net environmental gain. These buildings generate their own energy, recycle water, and manage waste on site. The word sustainability is not new to the field of facility management, but it is one that many managers still do not use when designing facilities. Sustainability is a holistic approach to protecting the environment by incorporating design practices and materials that use energy most efficiently. The theory is that the less energy we use, the less damage we cause to the environment while producing energy. In the past, facility managers have been nervous about taking this approach to their buildings because the upfront building costs are greater. As this practice has gained more and more momentum, costs have been reduced, and a properly designed sustainable building does not have to cost more. Although green facilities are best planned for when a building is being designed, many conservation projects are being launched to modify and maintain existing facilities as green buildings. Why do we need to develop green strategies for facility management? It's easy to say that it is the right thing to do. However, green strategies also represent the natural evolution of sport facility management. Facilities will be built and run, and programs therein will need to be green to meet government, tenant, and customer mandates as well as financial benchmarks. An arena can become more sustainable through the use of the following: water that has been previously used to wash hands, clothes, or dishes, or for bathing, as well as collected rainwater, is called gray water. Through creation of a system that not only collects the water but also filters it and redistributes it, water can be reused in restrooms, for irrigation of the grounds, and for fire extinguishing. Natural light. Using windows in certain areas of the facility will reduce the amount of energy needed to light those areas. One must be careful when using an abundance of natural light so that it doesn't hinder the ability of the arena to host functions such as concerts and televised games. Lighting. Using fluorescent or high intensity discharge lighting, LED, lighting to light a facility is the most cost and energy efficient option. Another effective tool for reducing lighting cost is to analyze every event separately to determine how much lighting is actually needed. This will prevent energy wasting. The process of creating energy efficient buildings is called green design. Green design should be analyzed in the facility planning and design processes. However, even if a building is designed with conservation in mind, the facility may not accomplish this goal if it is not constructed properly. To help address the divide that might exist between developing a green facility and actually running such facility, managers need to implement proactive programs that make it easier for everyone to be green. As an example, the New York Giants now distribute garbage bags to tailgaters in the parking lots before games. The fans can fill and then leave the bags outside their cars when they go into the game, and the trash is collected during the game. It relieves a lot of labor on the backside of those games as well. Coca-Cola has brought in an educational trailer to various auto races and placed 2,600 recycling bins at a dozen tracks. In 1 year, these bins collected 65,000 pounds of recyclable materials. Safety Clean, an oil recycling and waste cleanup product company, collects 125,000 gallons of used oil at racetracks each year. In 2008, the Michigan International Raceway recycled more than 153.5 tons of materials such as cardboard, concrete, plastic, and steel. In 2009, the St. Louis Cardinals spent roughly $2 million on electricity and $200,000 on water. By changing to a more efficient light system, they were able to reduce electricity costs by $10,000 per year. Over a 3-year period ending in 2013, Busch Stadium reduced its energy usage by 24%. American buildings consume 30% of the nation's total energy, such as electricity, coal, and natural gas, and 60% of all electricity used. The remaining amounts are used for manufacturing, transportation, communication, and numerous other uses. The process of creating energy-efficient buildings is called green design. Green design should be analyzed in the facility planning and design process. However, even if a building is designed with conservation in mind, the facility may not accomplish this goal if it's not constructed properly. To help address the divide that might exist between developing a green facility and actually running such a facility, managers need to implement proactive programs that make it easier for everyone to be green. Buildings in the United States consume 72% of all electricity available for consumption, 14% of potable water, and 40% of all produced energy. There is a difference between electricity generated by coal-burning plants, trash-burning plants, solar collectors, and nuclear power plants as examples, and all other energy produced such as natural gas, oil, and electricity. In comparison, sustainably designed buildings are able to reduce energy usage by 24 to 50%, CO2 emissions by around 35%, water consumption by 40%, and the amount of solid waste going into landfills by 70%. Sustainable design can also reduce operating costs by around 8%, increasing the building's value by around 7%, and increase the return on investment by 6.6%. Some products that humans manufacture have a long shelf life. Items that take a long time to decompose include the following: carpet fiber, which lasts 10 plus years; plastic, 300 to 500 years. Think about all of the plastic water bottles that we use, or plastic bottles. Aluminum, 200 to 500 years. And tires, over 500 years. The following are some key facts about the waste American produces and the need for green thinking. The average American uses 650 pounds of paper each year. Each day, Americans throw away enough trash to fill 63,000 garbage trucks. In 1995, 27% of the U.S. food supply, or 48 million tons of food, spoiled or went unused. Americans throw away 570 diapers per second, which translates to 49 million diapers a day. The average child uses 8,000 to 10,000 diapers before being potty trained. One of the biggest green issues involves water. Water is a key asset that has led to and will continue to lead to wars throughout the world. Americans waste water at a much greater rate than any other country. The average American uses 70 gallons of water every day. Toilets use an average of 18.5 gallons, which accounts for approximately 26.7% of daily water use. This is followed by clothes washing, which is about 15 gallons, and then showers, 11.6 gallons. One of the largest uses of water comes from the manufacture of products and food. 70% of global freshwater use is devoted to irrigation, including countless lawns and grass-playing fields. Another major concern entails energy availability and usage. The amount of gas, coal, and electricity used on a daily basis is staggering. Sport facilities use a large amount of energy. Electricity is used for cooking food, chilling beer, powering video equipment, and air conditioning fans, and numerous other needs. One of the biggest electrical demands comes from lights. For example, powering the 562,000 watt lights at Safeco Field in Seattle costs around $250 an hour. A 3-hour game and 2 hours of batting practice result in an electrical bill of $1,250 per game and more than $100,000 for an 81-game schedule. Any opportunity to reduce these costs saves the team hard cash. Management did not think of recycling as a marketing tool, but patrons have applauded a new effort on recycling. In many facilities, if management has not undertaken a recycling effort, patrons can become very upset. Certain recyclable materials may be frequently seen in the trash, but if separating them is too difficult, they may not be the best materials to recycle. For example, food scraps are regularly thrown in the trash with plastics and paper, all of which can be recycled through separate processes. It may be impossible to eliminate this problem by developing user-friendly storage and collection locations. Food is the number one material sent to landfill each year. The only real solution to not wasting food is to make less of it. However, a stadium or arena can't afford to make less food and have fans waiting for a long time or refusing to buy due to the time required to prepare the food. Thus, these facilities need to make enough food in advance to deal with anticipated demand. Demand can be estimated by tracking the number of units sold at prior similar events. Composting is one strategy for recycling food, but composting does not produce as much cash. Thus, leftover food can also be used to create energy. Food waste can be converted to a methane-rich gas when eaten by bacteria in a process called anaerobic digestion. It is estimated that such a process can produce energy equivalent to around 10% of a small country's power need. Three main factors help create a more sustainable environment: the design or layout of the building, the materials used in the construction, and the materials used to keep the facility clean. A maintenance program can be combined with any remodeling, or rebuilding efforts to design new or existing facilities so that they use better materials and are more efficient. For example, an old wood fence may need to be replaced. The wood may have been treated with arsenic to prevent decay and insect infestation, but such wood is bad for the environment. A green approach would be to use treated wood that minimizes the impact on nature. When looking into building or renovating a green arena, a facility manager should consider many issues before choosing to go forward. Consideration should not only the cost, but also safety factors, the life cycle of the materials in the building, operating costs, and the effects of the manufacturing process behind the products being used. An arena can become more sustainable through the use of the following: natural light. So green custodial and maintenance operations involving investigating current practices and eliminating those that can hurt the environment. For example, light bulbs. If light bulbs and old batteries are just thrown away, the facility should develop a hazardous waste removal program. All cleaning materials need to be carefully examined. Some cleaners contain toxic chemicals that can cause significant bodily and environmental harm. Cleaners should be carefully examined, and environmentally friendly cleaners should be used whenever possible. Through a maintenance program, many of these steps can be developed and implemented. For example, the maintenance department can be supplied with fluorescent bulbs instead of standard light bulbs. Instead of draining fluid into a sewer system, hazardous liquids need to be properly disposed of, not just to protect the environment, but also to avoid breaking the law. Similarly, cleaning agents used to maintain the facility need to be properly disposed of and monitored. Numerous possible solutions exist for reversing the harm sport facilities and their operations can cause. Some solutions are developed by individual facilities. Some are developed by an industry, and others are mandated by government entity. The Energy Policy Act set benchmarks for water consumption and prohibited the manufacture or import of plumbing fixtures that did not meet these benchmarks. The best design building will not work well if the materials are not efficient or not properly connected to reduce air loss. Green design considers the building's design, site, region, building envelope, construction material, building systems, and other variables. Using life cycle costing of material or initial costs, maintenance costs, and replacement costs, a facility or its components can be examined to determine whether they are operating efficiently and conserving energy. Green facilities typically cost more to build, but in the long run, in their maintenance and energy usage costs more than make up for the higher starting price. Facilities built to comply with leadership in energy and environmental design or LEED criteria cost 5 to 10% more than other buildings. LEED certification takes into consideration a facility's site and its usage of water, energy, air, and materials. It is hoped that LEED compliant facilities will be environmentally friendly and in the long run reduce operational costs. All the LEED variables affect the construction process. For example, the site criterion is affected by local environmental conditions. If care is to be taken to avoid harming adjoining land, the construction process may need to be significantly altered. Chapter 7 highlights the money-saving options of various lighting systems. If energy-efficient lighting systems are installed from the beginning, subsequent costs of converting a system can be eliminated, and energy efficiency can be reached right away. Additional building considerations include cogeneration. Cogeneration involves analyzing the combined heat and power produced at a power plant. Most power plants convert only 35% of the fuel and electrical energy. An additional 8% of electricity is lost during transmission, and the remaining 57% is used by the end users. The rest of the energy produced during the conversion process is heat energy that is released into the environment. A green facility would be designed so that the power plant is near a pool or other area that could use the heat energy to reduce heating costs. If the plant is closer to the area that will use the electricity, less electricity will be lost in the transmission process. Building materials play a major role in energy conservation. Insulation and vapor barriers help reduce heating, ventilation, and air conditioning needs, but do not address air circulation because air is trapped in a building. Exterior color can also have a significant effect. Facilities in the South are often built with lighter color or reflective materials to reflect heat, which reduces cooling demands during the summer. Walls can be designed to collect sunlight during the winter and then radiate the heat throughout a facility. The roof can even be used as either a recreation area or a rooftop garden. Although numerous materials are available for constructing a building and many are now made with recycled products, potential health concerns exist. Green-related sport efforts are gaining in popularity. Every facility manager needs to be seriously examine the issues from gray water usage to the facility's carbon footprint, because customers and government officials will start demanding accountability. One key component of green building is reducing trash during the construction process. Rooftop gardens are a way to grow food or add an attractive element to a facility. These gardens can provide insulation for a building and help prevent water leaks. A facility cannot simply put dirt on a roof and create a garden. The typical green roof has the following elements. A rooftop panel on top of the roof is about 1 foot thick and made of recycled, expanded polyester, which can support up to 70 pounds per square foot. A sheet of insulation is installed on top of the roof panel at a slight pitch to help drain excess water. The insulation is covered with a sticky foam adhesive to help secure the roof board to the insulation. And the roof board, which is made of fiberglass, serves as a hard surface and helps prevent mold and wayward roots. On top of the fiberglass is a sheet of thermopolymer that protects against temperature extremes and ultraviolet damage. And then you have the top layer, which is a 4-inch bed of lightweight dirt. Facility tenants are also following the trend. NASCAR has launched its own NASCAR Green program, which recycles tires and fuels and plants trees to offset carbon emissions. Of the 126 teams in 5 major professional leagues in 2013, 38% used renewable energy for at least some of their needs. 68 had adopted energy efficient programs, and 15 venues housing these teams had received LEED certification. Every league has launched some type of conservation program for its teams to follow. Thus, even if a sport facility does not undertake a conservation program on its own, the tenants might require the facility to develop such programs. According to a report from NASCAR Green, NASCAR fans are more than 5 times as likely as non-fans to associate NASCAR with environmental responsibility. Furthermore, 88% of NASCAR fans believe that the Earth is going through a climate change, and 76% of those fans feel a personal responsibility to combat it. Pocono Raceway built a 3-megawatt solar farm to power the track and some of the surrounding homes. This is an example of a green building strategy. In contrast, some strategies are purely operational and focus on the programs run in the facility. So, how does Texas A&M Corpus Christi reduce their carbon footprint? We actually have an Islander Green team, and their mission statement is to spread awareness about environmental issues within our community, to promote opportunities and events for students, faculty, and staff to become engaged and educated about environmental conservation, along with striving for socio-ecological justice. Their 3 main goals are to be stewards of the environment, work side by side with the Environmental Council of TMUCC, and to strive for environmental sustainability on campus and lead by example. The Green Team was developed to publicize the growing number of projects and programs that promote sustainability through environmental initiatives taking place around campus. Energy inefficiency is the single largest impediment affecting energy conservation, although industry is the single largest user of energy in the United States. About 19.5%, followed by residential use at 9.2%. 57% of energy usage is actually lost energy. This occurs because the U.S. has an old and inefficient energy infrastructure and other inefficiencies such as light-duty vehicles that convert only 20% of the fuel they consume into usable energy. Other inefficiencies include motors running at full speed when not necessary, losing power when transforming power from AC to DC, 12% of energy loss, and improper grid management. Alternative energy sources can range from solar power to water power and several other options. No matter what alternative energy source is pursued, a facility should utilize a web-connected and/or smart thermostat to help reduce electrical and total energy consumption. Some alternative energy strategies include solar energy. Instead of large, expensive solar panels, new technology is creating thin film solar thermal, and solar heating panels that can be installed almost anywhere on any surface. The expense associated with the project often results in a return on investments over 15 years. Hydropower, harnessing waves, river, and tides can create reliable energy source. Biofuels, such as ethanol, an alcohol-based fuel made by fermenting and distilling starch crops, such as corn, and which can also be made from cellulosic biomass, such as trees and grasses, is just one source of biofuel, and ethanol can be developed through other organic materials, such as switchgrass, sugarcane, algae, sewage, and even medical waste. Cleaner fossil fuels. Carbon capturing technology helps clean the dirty emissions from coal burning plants and helps reduce the CO2 produced by burning natural gas. And fuel cell technology, a device that converts the chemical energy from a fuel, usually hydrogen, into electricity through a chemical reaction with oxygen or another oxidizing agent. It is anticipated that the size of these units will help keep shrinking as technology improves. In the future, a box the size of a loaf of bread could power an entire house. Here you see Go Green Fitness in Orange, Connecticut has attached generators to the spinning bicycles. A typical group spinning class with around 20 bikes has the potential to produce up to 3.6 megawatts or renewable energy per year. This is enough energy to light 72 homes for a month while also reducing carbon emissions by more than 5,000 pounds. The 1.1 million square foot national park, which earned a LEED Silver rating, was the first Major League Baseball stadium to receive LEED certification. The facility was constructed on previous brownfield site and is located next to transportation hubs to reduce the need for cars, and is located next cars, and bicycle parking also was made available, including a bike valet service. Low-flow toilets and air-cooled rather than water-cooled chillers were supposed to save almost 10 million gallons of water every year. U.S. organizations squander roughly $2.8 billion and emit 20 million tons of CO2 by leaving in office equipment that is not in use. A large company with 10,000 personal computers could save more than $260,000 a year if all computers were turned off at night. Other ways energy is lost include the following: not cleaning windows. Internal lighting is required to compensate for low natural lighting when windows are dirty. Or HVAC filters. Dirty filters are less efficient. Not fixing dripping faucet. A hot water faucet that leaks 1 gallon per hour wastes $30 to $120 in energy per year. Unnecessarily leaving vending machines on all night. Cleaning at night rather than slow times during the day. Improperly scheduling when devices turn on, such as having the coffee heater turn on hours before employees arrive at work. Mounting thermostats in the wrong areas. And running exhaust fans at the wrong times. Blocking grills and vents with other equipment or furniture will reduce their inefficiency. And using incandescent exit lights. All operations at Lincoln Financial Field are powered by the sun and wind. This means that the Philadelphia Eagles' electricity needs come from 2 non-polluting, renewable energy sources, and that the organization is effectively off the grid. The environmental benefit of the green energy that Eagles generated and purchased in 2010 is equivalent to the following: removing 2,189 cars from the road for a year, sequestering enough CO2 annually to deflect 2,380 acres of forest, offsetting the CO2 emissions created by the annual electricity use of 1,392 homes, as well as by using 1,251,604 gallons of gasoline. Wind farms are moving out to sea where not as many people object that they clutter the view. Nuclear energy reactors are getting smaller and safer. And geothermal heat pumps. By drilling holes in the ground, a facility can tap into the trapped cooler temperatures deep in the ground that can help warm a building during the winter and cool a building during the summer. Geothermal heat pumps consume 70% less electricity. And cleaner fossil fuels. The first soccer field that harnesses players' energy to produce renewable electricity was installed in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, in 2014. Here they designed and manufactured by clean technology company Pavagen. The artificial turf pitch converts wasted kinetic energy footsteps into renewable electricity via 200 kinetic tiles that work in combination with several solar panels to power 6 pitch-side LED floodlights so the field can be used at night. True greenness can be seen through the entire process of a facility or event. Building a green facility is not enough. The facility also needs to be maintained in a green manner. This is akin to a life cycling costing of a system. The entire process of creating or running a green facility needs to be evaluated. Some organizations provide certification that helps communicate the result of a product's life cycle assessment. The life cycle assessment is based on information such as source of raw material, how the raw material is transported, the manufacturing process, construction and installation of the product on site, how the product is used, and how it's disposed of or repurposed. LEED certification should not be the primary pursuit, although such certification is important. It is an end result of planning, preparation, and execution. Most of the work required in preparing for LEED review is nothing more than good design work. Good architectural and design work will help any facility achieve significant points toward LEED certification. However, poor design or poor execution can doom any LEED effort. One key component of any LEED review is the installation of renewable energy options, and the price for such efforts has been decreasing over the years. Energy conservation works. Companies need to focus on outcomes because if they don't succeed, they can actually waste more than they save. A consulting group called Aberdeen surveyed 6,300 businesses, and the most inefficient businesses were able to generate a 9% reduction in electricity usage. The average business was able to realize a 2% reduction in electricity usage. Surprisingly, Those who did the worst actually increased their electricity usage by 19%. Water conservation is designed to reduce the amount of water because the amount of water in the world is limited. Saving water can reduce water bills, reduce energy bills, help facility withstand possible future droughts, and improve a facility's reputation and community engagement. A community toilet has to use less than 1.6 gallons per flush. High-efficiency toilets consume around 1.28 gallons per flush, whereas foam flush toilets use 0.05 gallons per flush, and waterless toilets use no water. The benchmark for faucets in 2.2 is 2.2 gallons per minute, but LEED mandates an even stricter 0.5 gallons per minute, which can be met with aerators and timed units that minimize the total amount of water used. Shower heads and faucets should use less than 2.5 gallons per minute. It should be noted that some energy conservation ideas cannot be implemented. For example, the water temperature in dishwashing units cannot be reduced below the minimum temperature to ensure that germs are killed. These standards are set by government health agencies. Whatever the reason for adopting a green strategy, it needs to make financial sense. It is not just the facility and systems that need to become green. Employees and fans need to embrace going green. If employees will not shut off lights, do not recycle, or leave windows open, a great green system will not operate as effectively. Fans can help the green effort by properly throwing out trash or even commuting to the stadium using public transportation or biking. Sporting events can produce vast amounts of waste. A significant amount of trash can be collected during the 6 hours after a major football game. Before the major shift to greening games, a Big Ten football game could produce 400 cubic yards of trash, which translated to 2,400 cubic yards in a season. It cost the athletic department more than $10 a cubic yard to compress the trash and $8,000 a season to dispose of it. Of the total amount of trash collected during games, only 11% was actually trash. The rest was recyclable or compostable. The stadiums could have generated money from selling recyclables because plastic and paper can be sold for around $10 per cubic yard. A large percentage of the trash collected after a game consisted of plastic water bottles and souvenir cups. During the 2004 college football season, Michigan State University sold 66,000 souvenir cups and 57,000 bottles of water. About 1/3 of the trash that made it to landfills was recyclable or compostable paper. In comparison, an average Super Bowl can generate around 70 tons of trash. Special events can generate significant amounts of trash. For example, the group carbonfund.org calculated the carbon footprint of the 2008 Daytona 500 to be 14,163 tons. Technology is helping drive green changes in sport facilities. Some green technology strategies include the following. Sub-metering devices can help more effectively allocate and monitor electrical usage. Windows and doors can become more effective with high-performance glazing. Such glazing is easy to install and can help prevent damage to furniture and floors and can reduce energy loss by up to 5%. Skins Wrap created a low-wind resistance vinyl sticker that has been used by NASCAR as well as regular cars and trucks. The dimple pattern, similar to that on a golf ball, can help cut fuel bills by 20%. Precast building panels are made with light gauge metal studs and a special polyester called Neopor, which is non-toxic and fully recyclable and blocks out heat, moisture, and mold. The panels lock together to create a wall that already includes channels for plumbing. Roofing tiles that double as solar panels are just one solar option. Solar panels can also be incorporated into parking lots, either in the ground or on canopies covering parking areas, so energy is generated when cars are not parked. ECO2 created a waterless recycling process as well. Other strategies for conserving energy, these are things that you can do at home. leaving appliances and electronics off and unplugged when not in use, making sure to clean dirty air filters, fix dripping faucets and other leaks, placing the thermostats in the right area, and trying not to use zone cooling when heating. Keep windows and skylights clean to let in more light and heat, making sure vent and air returns are not blocked, and switching to energy efficient models of appliances and lights, switching to waterless toilets and urinals, keeping windows and skylights clean and to let more light and heat. Make sure vent and air returns are not blocked and are operating efficiently, and switching to energy efficient models of appliances and lights, as well as waterless toilets and urinals. The San Francisco Giants partnered with their food service partner, Bon Appetit Management Company, to install a 4,300 square foot vegetable garden at AT&T Park. Named The Garden, it supplies fresh fruits and vegetables for ballpark menu items and serves as an outdoor classroom. The garden also features a bar, dining tables, benches, and fire pits. The garden is sponsored by Pete's Coffee and Tea and provides coffee grounds to fertilize the planter beds. It is hoped that the garden will be in production year-round, producing items such as blueberries, avocados, peppers, kale, lettuce, and tomatoes. The results of a 2009 study of 2,000 tenants in 154 buildings, all either Energy Star or LEED certified, showed that employees in greener buildings took on average 2.9 fewer sick days each year. This represented a cost savings of roughly $1,200 per worker. In addition, 50% of respondents indicated that employees were more productive. This 5% increase in productivity could be valued at around $5,000 a year. Going green saves more than just sick days. Sustainable buildings can reduce energy usage. There is no question that the future of sport facilities, whether building new facilities, renovating existing, or launching innovative programs, is green. Going green is a mindset that includes developing and launching green initiatives across the facility by growing organic, locally grown food and green advocates among the fan base. Everyone involved in a facility, the architects, the builders, the designers, operators, managers, frontline staff, and even facility users need to have green focus. The best strategies and equipment will have less of an effect if people do not properly operate equipment, or if fans refuse to throw trash in operating inappropriate bins. And that is it for today. Hey, you guys have a great day. Go green, and I'll talk with you soon.